Yeah.
Welcome to the Right Read podcast.
Not at one point did you say, man, that spreadsheet looks really cool, bro. That spreadsheet is so nice, bro. Like
Alperen Sengun, you know what I mean? Turkish hammer. Shout out Sengun, man. Pause.
remember this.
Pistons
Remember
fire,
this,
bro.
bro. He's a scroll. I'm gonna post that picture on the time. He is a scroll.
When you look at the teams that project to be above them, right? The Celtics, that's a top 5 defense, top 5 offense, right? The Sixers, if Embiid is healthy, that's a top 5 defense, top 5 offense, right?
Like it's different when you gotta like share the touches with another good. You know what I mean? Like it's different.
Like a winning environment.
Yeah, when you're trying to like win games and stuff, bro.
The reason my tagline is development isn't linear is because of situations like D-Book. It's because of situations like that where like a dude's dropping 70 and they're like, ooh, he's a losing player. He must not be very good. So, like, that's cool and all. Bro, I'm gonna be battling so many Pistons fans allegations after this.
You definitely are.
Like,
if B-Stu is your best shooter, I know what you are, bro. I know what your team is. You win 17 games. Aura. I'm satisfied your aura. Hey, he had good shooting too.
Good.
Why have aura and why just have analytics? You can have both.
I don't know if he
Cade
has.
Cunningham.
Does he have either? It's the question. Like we'll get to later.
Yeah,
but
we'll
I think I look at. Dang, the aura was too much. And y'all see what happened, bro?
That's not the first time Jalen's let me down.
Oh, that's messed up.
Welcome to the Right Read podcast. I'm Assad, joined as always by DeAndre and Isaiah. You can find me at AssadKing2001 on Twitter. Isaiah?
You can find me at Twitter user Jesus Supremacy on Twitter.
You can find me at Willems on Twitter and on YouTube at DeAndre Does Hoops.
Yeah, so we're just going to jump right into it today. As you can see behind us, we have these 3 beautiful cork boards, otherwise known as agenda boards for the purposes of this podcast. And we've decided, you know what? Everyone has players they like. Everyone has teams they follow. But we're like, you know what? When you're debating someone, you want to be able to mark down who you have, who's on your team, who's on your agenda board, right? Exactly. You got to claim your agendas. So we're like, let's make physical agenda boards, throw them up behind us, and as the season goes on, we can roast whoever's on there if they're playing like crap.
You'll notice a very distinct difference between all of ours. I think you could say,
Yeah.
I think from a visual perspective so far and kind of what each of us represent, hopefully as this thing goes along, you'll get to see more of how the board kind of reflects the way we view basketball, how we view certain players, and overall our agendas. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I'm the professional agenda pusher. I will take credit for this idea. This was a DeAndre Williams original. So shout out to the boys for going along and having our own agendas. Something that we've wanted to do for a long time. And I don't know who wants to jump into it with their agenda.
You can go ahead, bro.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Oh, I can start. As you can see, we're in a very weird time in basketball now, guys. Like it's the Boston Celtics broke what we view of basketball. Like for a very long time, it was star power. Analytics won. Shout out Ball Don't Stop, bro. Analytics, in fact, won. I am fighting against this. I am fighting against this idea of analytics, bro. At the end of the day, the game is about a bucket. Obviously, you need some form of analytics. You need some form of backbone to your offense, backbone to your defense. The numbers usually will line up with if you're a good team or you're a bad team. If a team is 22nd in defensive rating, their best player got a negative on-off. You probably not good. You're not good, and that player not as good as you really think it is, bro. Like the analytics can be useful, but at the end of the day, the eye test is what got us here. The eye test is what made every single one of y'all fall in love with this beautiful game. Not at one point did you say, man, that spreadsheet looks really cool, bro. That spreadsheet is so nice, bro. Like, man, that RAPM, that's why that guy my favorite player, bro. Like, analytics can be helpful, bro, but at the end of the day, as NBA Twitter likes to call it, shout out to our guy Brado NBA. I believe he's like, if you search Aura up in Houston Rockets, I'm pretty sure Brad comes up at this point. At the end of the day, bro, like Aura wins. Like Aura wins. I'm gonna post it on Twitter. I went through every single NBA championship and broke down the type of aura they have. Every team had some type of aura, bro. It's what it is.
There's no way you're serious.
I'm so serious right now. I'm so serious.
No way you're
Aura over. Shout out Mitty. Go follow Mitty at Mitty Data. Mitty, I love you. Shout out Centers Culture. We use it all the time. If you make up like an aura, you know what I mean? Like, give me an aura little metric. That'd be tough. We can work on that. But like, dude, at the end of the day, bro, like, give me the eye test. Give me the tween hezzy merchants. Give me the Ball Don't Stop guys, bro. At the end of the day, aura over analytics. Isaiah said it when we were at FedEx making these beautiful boards.
I think
Auralytics.
I think no player encapsulates that more than the dude you got.
Then the guy, we can get to that. We can get to that, man. So I'm going to steal from your board, right? Guys, development isn't linear. It's just not. There's not a one-track way that we look and say like, yo, this guy becomes this and he becomes this, becomes this. Players have ebbs and flows, highs and lows. There are things that happen to guys throughout their careers based off situations that kind of change the way that their development goes. You know what you can't develop? You can't develop aura. I'm sorry, you can't. You don't magically wake up one day with aura. It's just there or it's not. And no one encapsulates this better than Jaylen Green. I know it looks, I know to the real NBA fans, bro. Like, I'm wearing the shirt. I know it's at times in the season. You could check me on Twitter, bro. I was like, dang, Jaylen, I had a lot of hope for you this year. I was saying all-star. I was saying we was going to like sneak an all-star appearance, bro. We was going to be the 5 seed, sneak an all-star. That's what my plan was, bro. I thought we was locked in on that 4. We wasn't, though. And it's cool. But development isn't linear, aside. You know what I mean? It's not. It's not linear, man. And obviously the true shooting didn't look good for all of them, Isaiah. But in March, it looked pretty good. I'm just saying, bro, like, at a certain point, we look at these players, and in the case of a guy like Jaylen Green, some guys have it. I'm a firm believer. My dad used to talk to me about this all the time. We talked hoops. It's, man, at the end of the day, like, that dude has it. It doesn't always pop up in the same ways. Like, Steve Nash's it was how good of a floor general he was. He was so poised around the ball. He could run an offense on the back of his hand with his eyes closed if he really wanted to. Like, he was that eloquent with the ball in his hands. You get guys like a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. His pull-up shooting, that's his it. Jaylen Green is one of the most gifted athletes I've ever seen in my life.
What's his it?
Bro, I thought you was about to say his aura.
I was going to say, like, what's his it?
His aura is it?
It's not three-point shooting.
It's not. I think, like, I firmly believe this, and I've always said this about his game. Space creation, I think, is the hardest skill to find in basketball. The ability to get open, whether it's at a phone booth, whether it's in mid-post, whether it's for step-back threes, whether it's getting to the basket. Getting open is the hardest skill in basketball, especially in one-on-one or what we like to call self-creation metrics and self-creation moments. He does it. Like, you could turn the film on. I will not sit up here and say he was good last season. He was good post-All-Star break, and it was super boosted up by that hell of a run he had in March. I look at his film, and it's like, dude, there's stuff you do on the basketball court. I can't name 6 other dudes that do this.
Nobody.
Like, his flexibility on these step backs, the deceleration, his just overall burst, I can't teach this. In my mind, like, I can teach you to stop thumbing the ball. I can teach you over time, like, all right, we're going to play with a little more pace. We're going to read this pick and roll the right way. This hedge defender's going to do this. That nail defender's going to do that. More reps you get, we can get that. Bro, I can't teach you how to do a step back, left leg. Oh, now we pound dribble into a heads. I can't teach that. Dead leg sidestep. Some of the stuff he does, bro, it's like, I can't teach. No, I mean, I said I'm not gonna start too many agenda wars today.
I feel like that's cool and all. Bro, I'm gonna be battling so many Pistons fans allegations after this.
You definitely are. You definitely.
I don't have a rocket on my board.
You're the only one. You got this shirt on, but like,
anyway,
yeah.
my thing is that's cool and all, but I feel like a lot of times he's overshooting the simple stuff for complicated stuff he's not ready for. Like, why are you snaking every pick and roll when you can't run a normal pick and roll, bro?
That's
why are you doing up and under layups? You can't just like do a normal layup.
I will say back half of the season, I think with the finishing especially, everybody looked at the shooting and it was like, dude, he was like 40-something% on 9 attempts a game. Like, that's
the shooting was ridiculous.
Yeah, like that's like, you look at the shooting like, dude, this is like Dame level stuff.
That's better than like Dame's best shooting.
Yeah, like it was insane stuff that he was doing, especially off the dribble shooting. But you look at his finishing from after January and on, it was a night and day difference. And you look at the type of finishes he was doing, it was more like, all right, I'm not going to inside hand lay with a 7-footer like on my hip. That's going to get pinned every single time. Like, he still ended up being the most blocked player in the league, which is such a sad stat. But you look back half of the season, it got cut in half. Like, majority of those block shots did come pre-All-Star break. So I think that for some guys, it clicks. And I look at his play after January, and it's like something changed. How consistent this change is going to be, how great this change is going to allow him to be determined, right? I mean, it's TBD. But I saw something like, and the March run was like, oh my God, this is what you can be. Like, this is like,
the March
you can't just show me this. But even watching those games in January and February, it's like, all right, cool. Like, your baseline is pretty good if this is what you are. Like, this isn't just some scrub who I got to look and say, like, is he starting? Is he a 6th man? Like, no, this baseline right here that you're showing me, you're an NBA starter with a lot of upside. At the end of the day, like, he's just turned 23 years old. You still have a lot of room to grow. I'm banking that this year he figures it out. Shout out John Lucas. You were the only reason like half of Rockets Twitter and half of like Romande FC has hope by saying that it'll be this year and not last year that he takes that leap. I'm believing you because you were his trainer basically for the first 2 seasons and you got to see him more in practice than we did. But yeah, man, I'm bro, believe in the aura, bro. Auralytics, aura over analytics. The eye test never fails.
Yeah. Anyway, turned 23 in February. It is September, so not that recent. And what happened in April?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna be honest. Like I've always said this. Like we talk about this in basketball. Like, oh, these games don't matter. These games don't matter. March mattered for the Rockets.
Oh yeah.
Like March mattered because like we were on that win streak, and it was like, oh my God, like we're
the Warriors at one point.
Yeah, we were tied for the play-in. I'm gonna be honest. After that Dallas game, after the Warriors game, I think we ended up going 3 games back, and it was like, dude, the Warriors have to lose like 5 straight.
They have to lose really every game.
You can see like, and I'm a firm believer in this. Like, dudes, check out. I don't care who you are, how great you are. I don't think any human being consistently plays their best or hardest for an 82-game stretch. I also think Jaylen and the rest of the team, they were just trying to make it through the season. Like, they were just like, we're going with the ebbs and flows. And it's like, that March basketball, it mattered because we're fighting for something. We're playing for something. Like, that the Wizards were the worst team in the NBA, or second worst. I think they still finished like a game.
Pistons are still the worst.
Yeah, we're praying for you.
Ignore that.
We still like... the Wizards were a horrible team, and that game he had like 42 and did that Jordan and all the no looks and stuff. Yeah. It's like, oh, this was against the Wizards. Dog, go look at that third quarter. We were losing.
Yeah, we were down.
Like those are those moments where I'm like, dude, it's still the NBA.
Yeah, a few of those.
A few of those games, and like you win those games because of who? Because Jaylen Green was like, nah, I'm the best player on the floor. Dude, he came out first half. He was horrible. I remember the game. He was horrible the first half. Comes out in that third quarter. They start running that DHO with the men. It was a men Fred. They started running that DHO, letting him get downhill more. He started frying. I think he had like 21 in the third quarter, finished the game with 32. And it's like, dude, like this is a guy like, I don't think a lot of players in the NBA can win you games. Like, period. Like, we see the occasion like Terrence Ross 50 ball, Malachi Flynn 50. Like, all right, bro, you got hot one night. Having a month stretch, like legit, over a period of 30 days where you win your team and I can look at you and say you were the main reason you won your team about 10 of them games, that means something. That means something, bro. That's what, a little less than an eighth of the season? Something like that? Like, yeah, bro, an eighth of a season, you won me some games.
12.5%.
Yeah.
That was like, what, a fifth of our wins?
Yeah. I think 12.5% is what he shot from 3 in January.
It was
anyway,
it was
yeah. Move
30.1. Don't fry my minutes, all right? It was bad. It wasn't that bad, bro. Because y'all gonna believe him, bro. We're not letting this propaganda slide, bro.
But yeah, moving on to Isaiah, true shooting enthusiast, as it has on your board. Why does it say that up there?
You know what I mean? Shout out to the true shooting enthusiasts out there. You know what I mean? Unlike DeAndre, we are not just super duper Oralytics around here.
It sound good though, don't it? It sound really good though, don't it?
We value players who are a little bit more analytically savvy, who have better advanced numbers. We're gonna ignore the first player here. His number's been a little questionable on the advanced side. We're not gonna talk about why that is. You know what I mean? We don't gotta hash that out. But yeah, we value BPM demons, you know what I mean, EPM demons. And we are not Oralytics around here. So
I just like it's baffling to me, bro. It's baffling because like the king of analytics got knocked out in the second round by an Aura dude. So
I'm not gonna lie, analytics won the championship. You can't get that off.
But like,
you can't get that off.
But you're
the analytics dude.
Jokic lost in the that's Mr. Analytics, bro. No, Vorp, LeBron, D-Raptor, like that's that man, bro. That man lost. That man got packed up in the second round because Ant, even though he shot 6 for 25, out-aura'd him. Like real talk, bro. Game 7.
That is not what happened.
Game 7, bro. Game 6. That interview, like we coming back here. We coming back to Denver. Folks know we coming back to Denver, bro. And what happened? They came back to Denver, and I ain't gonna lie, that was nasty. What they did was disgusting, bro.
Third quarter collapse, yeah.
Like, come on,
20-point lead.
Your mans. I ain't gonna hold you. Team USA ain't really had great analytics. Them boys was up 18. Them boys,
you're lying.
Not true. They didn't go look at them advanced stats in the Olympics. I promise you, they're not as crazy as y'all think.
Who's looking at advanced stats when I have LeBron, KD, and stuff?
That's what I'm saying. Wait, what do those three guys have?
Curry dropped like 40. Insane amount, like insane.
And you know what's crazy? That tween behind That wasn't no. This is a great analytical shot, bro. That man faded away over 2 people, and it was just the aura in the air, just like guided that ball.
No
in.
way.
Hey, come on, bro. Like that's what happened. Because your man's Mr. Analytics went like what 0 for 8 from 3 that game, but the analytics said he was gonna make like 3 of them. So it is what it is.
Hey, bro, let him land his plane. Who you got up there?
I mean, you know what I mean, we got the GOAT. You know what I mean, the wizard. Alperen.
Crazy. Not even baby goat. Just straight up.
I mean, Alperen Sengun. You know what I mean, Turkish Hammer. Shout out Sengun, man. Pause.
I ain't gonna lie, you 0 for 2 right now.
Come on. Give us some stats.
You know what I mean?
If it's true shooting, what is it?
Well, we ain't got to get into the true shooting because it's a little. You know,
I think he ranks 12th.
It was decent. It was just 12th among bigs.
It was 59%.
59%.
You know, we had a lot of self-created shots though, so that's a little. You know, we're not getting a bunch of lobs and whatnot, so it's not getting gas. We do got to work on the free throws though, because that's definitely wicked. But for me, like the reason why I put Sengun on there is because I feel like he's a super unique player. He's like one of the few bigs that you'll see get like isolations, like a lot of them. And you know, what I mean, to his like lack of credit, he is going to have to be more efficient on them. He turned the ball over a lot in the ISO, so he wasn't super efficient. But there's not even a handful of bigs that you'll look at in the league and be like, yeah, like I'm gonna get this guy ISO, right? Like it was literally points in our season last year where it's like, well, Sengun's our guy, like we gotta get in the ball. Oh, Ime just gonna give it to him on the top of the key and say everybody move out the way. And there was games where he like basically won him doing that.
Yeah.
The Jazz game he did it.
Yeah.
The Pelicans game and the IST.
That Spurs
the second
game.
Pelicans game in
That
New
Spurs
Orleans.
game where he had like 40.
the Spurs
that
game where he had
ridiculous.
45. Like it was multiple games where you kind of saw like, yeah, this guy's a different type of offensive talent. And so, you know what I mean, for first order of business for true shooting enthusiasts, you know what I mean, you had to be on the board. So
all right. That's fair. Yeah.
Now yours is
yeah, Pistons fan.
You're I'm just trying to figure out like because it's fitting that he's in the middle because like he doesn't fit that one and he doesn't fit that one.
So listen, why have aura and why just have analytics? You can have both.
I don't know if he has.
Cunningham.
Does he have either? Is the question. Like, does he have either at the moment?
Listen. This is my thing, right? My tagline: development isn't linear, right? Because it's not. Like, not every player gets gifted Ime Udoka. Not every player gets to grow up playing in a Turkish professional league. Some people just get 1 year in college. Like, that's all they get. And as we can tell with these rookies coming in, a lot of them aren't that good. Like off jump, like they have major developmental curves they have to hit. Like when it comes to just like ball handling, like shout out Scoot Henderson, like really, really good prospect. Still got faith in him, but he had to get benched like in his rookie season. Like and on a Portland team that won like 20 games. Like anyway, Scoot did right. Hey, a dude that did not get benched.
Scoot will not be on anybody's board.
Anyway, Cade Cunningham, right? Hey, let me get stuff.
That was mean.
All right, we're going too far. Didn't they draft Duran?
No, it was Denver. That was Denver. Prayers up to Duran Holmes, by the way, man. Prayers up.
I feel like Portland. Whatever. Okay, this is my point, right? Cade Cunningham, Black Luka, number 1 overall pick, 2021.
So I got to cook for college Sengun to go. But
this is my thing. You got your Sengun bars off like, ooh, his shots are hard to create. His shots are hard to create, right? Tell me, he's actually playing in a phone booth, bro. No spacing. Worst 3-point shooting team in the league. His spacers are Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, half a season of Bojan.
Respect Stu.
Respect Stu.
What do you like?
If B Stu is your best shooter, I know what you are, bro. I know what your team is. You win 17 games.
I would like to. Is he playing in a phone booth because the spacing is bad, or is he playing in a phone booth because he has no burst?
He has pace. That's what I'm saying.
Pace.
Listen, hey, you tried to get this off about Jalen Williams. Guess who had a really good season? I mean, he 40% from 3. Shout out Madison Moore. Pace, bro. Pace matters. Man. Hey, pace wins. If you can't play with pace, Jaylen Green, then it's not going to be consistent.
Hey, check the workout videos. Shout out Swiss coaches, man.
Yes. Pause. Yeah, they're really teaching them.
No, they really work. Those workouts work, man. Shout out Trainer Dash, man.
Yeah. Anyways, Cade Cunningham is quite literally the only positive player on the entire Pistons team.
Respect
And
Sar.
I don't think Sar was hurt.
I mean, yeah, he played like what 40 games.
Yeah,
Like,
he
he
was
played
nice
40
in
games. He was
40,
benched
bro.
for like 20 of them. His minutes made.
I mean,
no
that's because
sense.
Monty Williams is just a.
Monty Williams has
Monty
he has
Williams,
his issues.
Good
But
job
it's my
collecting
thing,
your
right?
shit,
It's my thing. The fact that Cade has positive like metrics, analytics, like EPM, RAPM, like BPM,
on that team,
that shit is
crazy.
incredible on that team. Like on a Pistons team that won 17 games, analytics tell you this guy's a winning basketball player. Like he is. He shot 36% from three. Right, still was one of the better PNR operators.
Shooting.
Listen, hey, true shooting. All right, don't check. All right. I'm not gonna.
We above league average. What you, bro? We are above
league average for bigs.
See, look, we not a come on, bro. We not a lob catcher, but that's not
Bro,
right,
we not a spot up shooter. We
I mean,
we trying to be hero.
Do you want to look at his pull up numbers?
I'm about to say like your man's might be
ain't
just.
gonna lie, he
I ain't
might
lie.
be.
He might just be DeMar DeRozan that can run a pick and roll. That might be what
Is
he
that not a good player?
It's
Hey, DeMar DeRozan.
It's a cool
Hey,
player, but
hear me
like
out, hear
it
me
ain't
out.
no Black
Hear me out.
Luka.
If I told you DeMar DeRozan with actual positive defense, he's a positive defender. You can't tell me he's not. He's a positive defender. Bro, I can't get nothing off with y'all.
Bro, like he's got. I would say
a good team
he's
defender.
got quick hands. He can be a nail defender. Like he's
a good
Bro,
team
he's
defender.
big.
I'll give you
6'8",
I'll
like,
give you
he not
neutral.
weak.
I'll give you neutral. I'm gonna be honest. Yo, Cade's athleticism, and shout out to Cade Cunningham, bro. Like you're one of my favorite players in high school. I am rooting for you, bro. Like that Detroit situation is nasty. He's from Texas too. Like like those injuries, I think have taken a step from him. I do believe that though. I think he's still gonna end up being an all-star caliber player. I think he's gonna be good. But like the Black Luka conversation was centered around him being. They lied about him being 6'8". Straight lie. Didn't even show up to the combine.
If Cade's not 6'8", he's not 6'6".
He's 6'4", no shoes. We have official measurements for him. He's 6'5" and a half in shoes. We have official combine measurements. Your man's didn't show up to the combine. We know why now. But like, it's different, bro. Like I want Cade to be great, bro. He can't move like the way that I saw him move at Montverde, the way I saw him move at Oklahoma State. He's a different player physically now. And to your point, he does play with really good pace. I love his pick and roll ability.
He's one of the better mid-range shooters.
Yeah, one of the better mid-range shooters. Like
really
he has a
good
lot of
He's
positives.
a really
to the
good
game.
floater, has good touch with the basketball. His 3-point shooting has increased every year, even though development isn't linear, right? But he is improving every year from shooting. Like
especially off the catch.
He's only had 2 seasons. He missed a whole season because of injury. Like, listen, I got stocks in Cade. Like I feel very good.
It is kind of the different players, but it's a bit reminiscent of like D-Book and Phoenix to me.
Bro,
It's a little like that. Like just because it's just like complete dog water situation.
Yep.
And this is this one dude like I know you remember during that losing streak where he's like, man, we're not owing this bad. And it's like, man, y'all are like you're not Cade, but like rest of your team is like this isn't a good organization. I'm gonna be honest, they did him no favors this offseason.
They did not. The Wingstop Pistons were like a terrible experiment that went wrong. Like, but I still think
did they get
the
any of them?
Pistons,
Yeah, you remember they were doing that? They scanned to get free wins, bro. Did they ever like cash out? I remember Nick sent it in the group chat. Did he like other than that? Did they cash out on it like more than once, bro? Like I don't remember them actually doing it, bro.
But anyways, that's my thing. He was on the Wingstop Pistons. 17 games, terrible situation, right? Still, I think he's going to be a positive. Like we all said.
I mean, he's a positive right now.
That's what I'm saying. He's a positive right now. And the reason my tagline is development isn't linear is because of situations like D-Book. It's because of situations like that where like a dude's dropping 70 and they're like, ooh, he's a losing player. He must not be very good. And it's like, you're not able to look at this dude like regardless in a vacuum, regardless of the situation he's in, the stuff he's having to overcome to put up the numbers he is. I think that's incredible. Like he put up like almost like 25 like 7 and 7.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Like that. I'm fudging a little bit.
It was like 22. Yeah, it was like 22. You know what I mean? It sounds good though. It do.
Yeah, that's more than either of these two guys averaged last year, by the way.
I mean, it's different when you gotta like share the touches with another good. You know what I mean? Like it's different.
Like a winning environment.
Yeah, when you're trying to like win games and stuff, bro. Like, and it's crazy that you talked about like bad situation. Like both our mans didn't have to deal with.
We dealt with
the mans that went to your man's team. Like, shout out to don't shout out to the Silas family. Those were 2 of the worst years of my life as a basketball fan, bro. Your man's picked them up. Why are you not? My man's had him like, hey, I'm even assistant coach, head coach. Bro, like, we seen the pick, bro. Like, they shopping at Neiman Marcus. They probably was, bro. He ain't learned nothing basketball related from Steven Silas, bro. He ain't learned nothing. These guys aren't playing hard enough. Come on, bro. They ain't do. Hey, come on, bro. Had that for 2 years, bro. Dacian Nix on the floor. Garrison Matthews on the floor, bro.
18 minutes a game,
bro. We were shouting from the rafters when Dennis Schroeder would throw him a lob. Like, that was real.
Oh my
bro,
God.
Okay, what's Cade supposed to do? He is the offense. He can't.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to bet. I'm just saying, bro, like, you can't clown my man's and your man's is going. We went through the same situation. We just got out the darkness.
Listen, I'm just saying, your man's had a big that can actually roll to the rim. Shout out Sengun.
Jalen Duren can roll to the rim. Duren's a great lob threat.
That's like one of the things he do good.
The only thing he does good at this point.
He a great rebounder.
Nah, he's a bro. He can
catch a
like
lob,
he's
bro.
that like. He's not as good as Clint was with us, obviously, but that's like the mold of player he is. Like, that's what he's supposed to be. Like, block shots, drop coverage,
I'm not gonna lie,
defense
not there.
He's not Clint on defense.
I don't know what happened with him defensively. I really don't.
He do like as a roller. He do got.
Yeah, like he's got some good touch too. Like,
okay, well, he's always hurt anyway. So even if like, that is your guy,
I feel this way about the Pistons. I think that they have a great combination of talent. It's just none of the talent necessarily fits together at all. Like, shout out to Sar Thompson. Sar Thompson is one of the best defenders in the league already.
Yeah.
Like, he probably, if the media doesn't do him dirty, he probably makes an all defensive team next year if he stays healthy. Like, legit, I think he's that good defensively.
Yeah, prayers up for the.
Shout out. Yeah, I think he's doing. I think I haven't heard much about the recovery, but I think he's like on track to play again. So
okay, that's good.
But like, he, as great as he is defensively, and how much he covers up for some of the weaknesses Cade has defensively, offensively, good lord. Like, at this point in his career, like, it's just like it doesn't help. Then you add Ron Holland this year. I was huge. Like, Ron Holland was like 3 on my board. I love Ron Holland. Had no idea or not a thought in my mind of him going to the Pistons because they just did not need him, like, at all. This is like the worst fit for me in the draft. As talented as he is, even like I'm not super high on Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey's got talent. Jaden Ivey kind of needs to be on the ball, but he's not great on the ball and he's not great off the ball.
I'm not glad.
You kind of like.
I don't even think Pistons fans consider Jaden Ivey part of that core at this point.
I mean, he's on the team. Yeah, I don't think he considers himself part of the core either, based on some of his posts. But I don't know. We gotta. I ain't like NBA players. Can I get this off real quick? NBA players, you're a grown man making millions of dollars. Please stop going to the black screen, deleting your bio, bruh. Like, you're not a 17-year-old girl with a fence.
I ain't gonna lie.
I know
like,
this is not the dude that has Jaylen Green behind him, right?
You're not, bro.
I ain't gonna lie.
Not because on that side.
Because we didn't know what I'm saying. Stay on that side is different, though. We came direct. We didn't throw subliminals. We went in.
He deleted the post.
It's the definition of a subliminal.
No, we didn't throw subliminals because we went in that man's DMs.
We're not breaking.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, we went direct, bro. Like, we weren't ducking nothing. Shout out Ken Whitmore too. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out Will, bro. Ken Whitmore went straight up. All right, bro. Do it straight. Shout out Will on the timeline, bro. Like, all right, we come direct, bro. That's what happens when you have aura. You don't gotta hide. Aura doesn't get shunned away from anybody, bro.
All right. I mean, if we're done with these agenda boards, I feel like we've gotten our licks off about these guys.
Yeah,
I think it's a lot of other players in this league. It's a lot of other breakout candidates we got coming up for this season. It's a big year.
I said nothing bad about Alperen Sengun. Sorry. He's not watching this. He's not watching this.
Nah, but for real, like, it's a bunch of other players in the league, a bunch of other breakout candidates. Real quick,
ton of young
I'm gonna get this off. We want to define breakout candidate because the NBA clearly can't do it with the most improved player award. Because Ja won it. Now Wemby's gonna win it. It's just awards cooked. Breakout candidate cannot be like a top pick as a sophomore. Like, Chet, I'm sorry, you're not a breakout candidate, bro. You were on the 1 seed, put up like 17 points, 5 blocks a game. Yeah. Like, you can't. No, you're not a breakout candidate. Wemby, you're not a breakout candidate. You just averaged 21, 10, and 5.
Too, bro.
Yeah. Like, you're in year 2. Like, if you're a top pick going into your sophomore season, you are not a breakout candidate. You are just developing.
This is something that's like expected of you.
Yeah.
Like, this is what your development was supposed to be.
Oh my God, Wemby's good in year 2. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's and when he wins most improved player this year.
You think he'll win?
I will say,
he's the favorites for betting right now on all the sites.
Dude, I firmly believe this. They're not going to let Wemby go a year without an award. Like, I truly believe that, dude. Like, he'll probably win DPOY.
I mean, he's winning DPOY.
Like, he'll win DPOY. He'll win MIP.
There's no way like the Spurs are a bottom like defensive.
Dude, they were gonna give him DPOY this year. He had like the second most first place votes.
He almost won it this year.
Yeah, like they want to give it to him this year.
Which that was so crazy to me, bro.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
nah, he is though.
Like, shout out.
I can't even.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't Spurs fans. I don't like you.
Yeah.
Straight up, like I'm sorry that like I'm a Rockets fan and like I don't like a opposing team in Texas. Like get on my mentions with that stuff, bro. Like, but shout out Wemby though. Like he is a generational defender.
Yeah.
That was like that was the calling call.
But I feel like the whole framework of like Depoy is usually top guy on a top defense. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to say, oh, you're Depoy, and you're on like the third worst defense.
See, I feel like that's fake though, because that's how Marcus Smart wins Depoy. And it's like,
I mean, that's a fair.
come on, bro.
I would say
Marcus
like
Smart Depoy.
I think when we
but
get
look
into
at the other guys who were like there though, right?
Yeah.
Like it was Bam. They were the
Yeah.
number 1 seed in the East.
and we know how slanted it is towards bigs too.
Yeah.
Let's be real. We just like rim protection is the most valuable.
It's
for 'em.
usually the best.
I mean, but
big
that's
on
because
the-
that's just how.
Yeah, you want to stop layups.
That's how
It's
the
the easiest
game's
shot.
played,
You
bro.
want to
That's
stop
like
them.
that's like people complaining about NFL MVP being slanted towards quarterbacks.
Yes.
It's like it's the most
bro, those are the most valuable players. Like
Yeah.
bigs are the best defenders. Like
Yeah.
you can't like. That's
But
just how it is.
that's my thing though, right? Because like a
Except
guy
for
like
our Pookie Bear, man, Thompson.
Man, Thompson.
Shout out to man.
You sure you're not a big?
excellency.
Nice.
Watch
He's a
out.
wing.
That's a,
He said
that's
he's
a,
6'8"
That's a
now?
point guard.
He's
Watch
yeah,
out.
I'm gonna say that. Yeah, that's yeah.
Nothing about a man is guard. He's a point forward at best.
And now that's
He's
my
not a guard.
that's my point guard.
Don't-
He's not a
I
guard.
don't
That's
know
my
what
point.
this guy's
Hey,
talking about.
Rockets Twitter, remember this.
Pistons
Remember
fire,
this,
bro.
bruh. He's a
But-
scroll. I'm gonna post that picture on the time. He is a scroll. He is Sam. He is War Machine in the Avengers, bro. You think this is him? He got swapped out a couple years ago. I don't know what it is, bro. He's a Pistons, Thunder,
I'm not a Thunder fan.
Magic. He a fan of everybody else, but us. I promise you, bro. I promise you.
All right. Speaking of the Magic, speaking of players that actually made the All-Star game last year
In the East, though.
You just,
in the
I don't
East,
like how you just
I
tried to
mean,
get that
okay,
off,
in
bro.
the East, top 5 seed. Hey, you just said for Depoy, it's the best defensive teams, best defensive players, right?
Yeah.
Hey, if you
It wasn't
if
'cause of him?
Your team's winning. Your team's winning games. You're the best player. You're not an All-Star. Talk about Paolo Banchero.
Best-
Just shooting that.
No,
out there.
we not even gonna.
I'm
get
saying,
into
talking about Paolo
that.
Banchero. Is he not a breakout candidate this year? He shout out. Hold on, I'm getting to some stats real quick. Paolo Banchero just played in the playoffs against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tough defense, not a tough defense.
I mean, they are.
Tough defense,
They
very
was-
tough defense.
they was-
Averaged 27.
I think they
Averaged
were
27 points his sophomore season. 27 points, shot 40% from 3 in the playoffs. Riser, Aura. I'm satisfied your
Riser?
Aura. Hey, he had good true shooting too.
Good.
I mean, it was good. He shot 40%.
It was average for the playoffs, which I mean for a rookie that is,
Yeah,
or for
for-
like a first time
That's what I'm
playoff
saying.
player. It is
Development's
good.
not
I-
right here. Come on.
I say like playoff performance was shout out to Paolo. That was a crazy. I'm a Paolo fan. That was a crazy playoff performance. We'll look at the regular season, bro. Like, I still think he's. If we are gonna go breakout candidate, I do think this is a year for him to take another big step in his quest for stardom.
I think
so.
all NBA elite, bro.
Ooh, best 15 players in the league. That's what it's not position anymore.
Listen.
Best 15 in the league.
Yeah, 65 games. He's young. He's gonna play
He's gonna
65
get
games.
this.
A lot of these older dudes are gonna start missing that, right? Like shout
Yeah,
out.
but is he gonna have to like stats for that though, bro?
I think he will, bro. He averaged what 26.
You gotta like be, especially for like. what
I think he
does.
can average like 25.
You gotta be like a
this year. Swear to
25,
God.
5-5 type of guy to.
Yeah.
I think
Actually-
it
actually-
depends on how real do you think that playoff shooting was.
Okay, I don't think he's gonna be a 40% 3-point shooter.
Because it wasn't even just
I
that.
mean, but
it's
the
the
problem
it's the
with
mid
that
range shooting, bro.
is-
Because I'll let you. Cause I know.
Yeah, I was
what
about to
you
say.
about
Yeah, he shot 40% from 3, right? And then he also shot like 55% from mid range. And he still only had like a 55 true shooting because the rim numbers is like 40
It's
something.
horrible.
Bro, but he's 6'10", 250.
But he doesn't
I'm not-
know he's 6'10", 250.
he-
Bro, at some point he's gonna
He
figure it
don't
out.
know that.
Like, he's
I'm
gonna
being,
figure out
I'm
he's
like
6'10",
we,
250.
I'm being, go look.
I mean, we've
Scouts
been
have been
saying
saying
that
that
with
about him
Tatum,
since like he was
He don't got
17 years
Tatum
old,
syndrome.
bro.
He don't got Tatum syndrome.
He
He
don't?
kind of he literally does, bro.
They literally
He
play
literally
like
does, bro.
exact
Like
same.
it's that like shout out to I keep shouting you out on podcast episodes. Shout out Miles. He like when we scout these young players, it's this like syndrome that's happening with these young dudes because their favorite players are PG and KD, where they just run the mid range jumpers. Like he's kind of fallen into that
Yeah, he
trap
don't
of
put,
like,
big.
oh, I'm 1-on-1. The playoffs are tough buckets. I need a midi. And kudos to him. It was falling in the playoffs. Like it was a beautiful thing to see. It was great basketball because he was hitting those shots. Man, when you aren't hitting those shots and you tell him you can't fall back and use your 6'10", 250 frame, like his true shooting is bad. He gets to the line like
Lot.
7 times a
lot.
game, I
I
think.
feel like these are all positive precursors, though. Like you're again, development isn't linear.
I mean,
It isn't.
I'm gonna
It
keep
isn't.
saying it, right?
Finishes the
Like
finishing,
you're telling me
yeah.
a dude,
That's the thing.
Hear me, right? A
Mhm.
dude who's 6'10", 250, gets to the line a lot, has shown legitimate shooting flashes, self-creation flashes, right? Over like fairly like legitimate sample sizes. It's not like one game
Yeah.
sample sizes or 1 month or something, right? Like this is
I don't know
legitimate
how
sample
legitimate
sizes.
7 games is, but
I mean, no, but like he's had flashes across.
yeah,
the
he shot pretty well.
Yeah, like he was a solid mid range shooter this year, right? Like that's what I'm saying. I feel like when you look at those things,
It was above average.
It was
it
like
was above average.
That's above league average.
I'm saying you
I
look
mean,
at those two things. He's. Let me
Twin was above average too. I understand, bro. But we ain't gotta get into that
It was
one.
he.
Hold on.
You know
All
what I'm saying?
All right. Okay, listen. Sophomore, he got all these positive precursors coming in. Those are all star traits. They are.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
Yeah.
being big, pause, getting to the free throw line,
Yeah.
like being able to self create your own shots, step back jumpers,
Yeah.
rising in the playoffs, big star trait. Right? I think those are all really positive precursors for a dude who's a sophomore,
Yeah.
who's only 21 years old. Right? He's gonna keep getting better.
100%.
Like I don't think that Paolo is a bad bet for an All NBA team this year. Speaking
I
of
think-
bets, me and Zay have a bet on the Magic.
Yeah, I sure.
We
did.
do
What
have a
is
bet.
it?
We
Is it
have
wins,
we have a wins bet on the
Yeah.
Magic because
What's the line?
It was
50,
49 and a half, right?
49 and a half. I think
Okay.
they're gonna get more than 50 wins this year.
Ooh.
I took them for the slight under.
I think a lot of that, and I don't know if you guys want to go to this person, a lot of that, them getting to 50, as much as it'll be on Paolo taking another step in the right direction, that other dude that they just gave a max contract's got to start hitting threes again. Like Franz Wagner has got
Yeah,
to
which that was
hit
pretty
threes.
bizarre.
Like,
I'm not
that
gonna lie.
is-
For guys,
I
That's
feel
a
like
huge
I
move.
feel like that's so outlier.
It
Like
is.
he
I
shot like
I-
what 28.
It was 28%. I will say this: you go back and look at like a lot of his Michigan numbers weren't great from three.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't great.
Bad, though.
It wasn't, but it wasn't like you go look at his pre-draft. You didn't look at Franz pre-draft per se and just say like, oh, this guy's gonna be 30. It was like he'll be he'll be a floor spacer, which is like kind of what he just wasn't that last year. I think that he does bounce back, and whether it's I think 35 should be what he's aiming for. Like if you're a 35% shooter and doing the things he does on the floor, that's it. That's an all-star level player.
Correct
Like,
me if I'm
legit.
wrong. He was above 35 his rookie and sophomore season. I'm pretty sure.
Uh,
I think it was like 30.
I think he was like
It was
right.
close.
I think he was
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was about like
It
what
was
4
34,
attempts, I think.
35.
So he was
Yeah.
like he was solid in that
I'm saying,
area.
I
so-
think like a 6% drop your third season.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
I haven't like watched enough. I don't know if he like changed his form or something. Like I haven't delved that
Yeah.
deep into it, but it's like I think he'll take a bit of a jump. But that Magic team, man, like they lack a lot of shoot. Like adding KCP is huge. They drafted Jet Howard. Like being able to have Jet Howard's got to play this year. Good lord, he's got to play. We're gonna bring him up later, but Jet Howard has to be a guy that plays for this year because of his ability to space the floor. KCP was a big pickup. Giving those guys more space on the floor to operate is gonna be huge. Wendell Carter's one of the few actual stretch bigs in the league. They'll have, I think, more room to operate. Those guys grow a year. Who bet it over?
I bet the over.
I think I'm gonna side with the side on this one.
Yeah.
See,
I think
my
they
Isaiah, I
might.
want finish this phrase for me. Blank wins championships. Who was the top 3 defense in the league last year?
I mean, but see, the thing with that is right.
I believe the answer you're looking for is aura.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
the thing like of why I'm a little more skeptical on the Magic as a whole, right, is I feel like with their additions, they didn't really address any key needs, right? Like I feel like one of the main needs that they had last year was they needed like a connective piece like at PG, right? Because Suggs is like a pretty solid player, but he's
I think
not
he's a
that,
solid
right?
playmaker. I think he's solid.
Yeah, but you need like a D'Angelo Russell, like someone who can run a pick and roll, someone who can hit like a spot up 3, a pull up 3. Because right now, who's the like positive pull up 3-point shooter on the team, right? That's like one issue, right? And then outside of like Franz and Paolo, kind of, who's the positive PNR operator, right? And so when you add that, and then you add on the fact that the spot up shooting for the rest of the team is still kind of questionable. Yeah, they're gonna be a top 5 defense, but they're still probably gonna be like what 21st, 22nd on offense. And then you look
I
at
think they
the
were
team-
25th last year.
Yeah, I think they were like 24th.
I know they were the second best
I think they're
defense
24.
overall.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now,
Or-
top 5 defense. They were top 5 defense,
Mhm.
24th in offense. They won 47 games.
Yeah.
If they're a top 5 defense again, 20th offense, they're winning 50
See, but
games. I'm
here-
feeling good about this bet.
but
They
here's
should.
the problem with that.
They should
though.
take a tad bit of a jump. I think it does mostly come down to their 2 best players. Like, do these
I
two
think-
take slight leaps offensively? Do they get
Mhm.
better? If Franz and Paolo just take like the leaps you expect from guys that prove to be young stars, if
Mhm.
they take those leaps, they should be better than the 23rd or 24th ranked offense, whatever they were. Like they should jump
See,
up to
but
like 18. Like
My
that's
issue, right,
kinda where you
though,
gotta be.
comes in when you look at the teams that project to be above them, right? The Celtics, that's a top 5 defense, top 5 offense, right? The Sixers, if Embiid is healthy, that's a top 5 defense, top 5 offense, right? The Bucks, if everyone is healthy, that's like a top 3 offense, probably like middle of the pack defense.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
But it's still a top 3 offense. Like that in the regular season, that's gonna win
Does
you.
Doc
50
Rivers
plus
play the
games,
young
right?
guys?
I was gonna say, I don't trust Doc Rivers.
No, but they had
I like
the best
Jamal
starting
Mosley a
lineup
lot
in
better
the
than I
league,
like
bro.
Doc Rivers.
Yeah, no, Mosley's one of like
Mosley's a good coach.
He's gonna be a good bet to win.
I mean,
like,
yeah, but
coach
they
of the year
have
this year, I
Giannis.
think, too.
Yeah.
And in the regular season, that means a lot.
It really does. But like I look at, I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. Like just the East in general, I don't necessarily outside of that. In my opinion, that I think it's a clear cut top 3 of the Knicks, Celtics, Bucks. I think to me, like if those teams stay healthy, I still got to see them. Their POA defense
in a regular season,
their POA defense is bad. Like it's bad, bro.
They have Embiid though. That's like
like I'm saying, like Embiid's cool, but like, do you want Embiid to play 65 games?
I think that's to me
I think
though.
he can.
Do you want Embiid to play 65 games?
Yeah.
Do you, Nick Nurse, go out there and say, I want him to play 65?
Say that sentence again. Who's the head coach?
Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse.
Do you want him to play? I'm saying like because
Nick Nurse will play Embiid 82 games, 40 minutes.
I think the mentality changed. Like this dude, he scoped his knee last year.
Mm-hmm.
He was paralyzed in half his face. He came back probably earlier than he should have. And you kind of saw how he looked in the play. Like, I know a lot of people like the Joel Embiid playoff dropper jokes and stuff. Like, he does drop to a certain extent.
He's always hurt.
And that's the issue. He's always hurt. At this point, if I'm the 76ers, bro, take whatever load management fines you got to take, whatever rest schedule you got to create for him, bro. The goal is not to be a good regular season team. The goal is to win a chip, bro. And he's your best shot. Tyrese Maxey and PG is a great duo. That's a 7 seed. Like, that's a 7 seed if Embiid is not like... And that's a 7 seed that gets dropped early in the playoffs.
All right, real quick. I feel like we're losing the plot a little bit. Talking
a little bit.
Yeah,
Eastern Conference standings arguments. Let's get back to another young duo in the league. Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams. What do you expect from them this year? Because, hey, we talked to OKC fans on Twitter. They expect a lot.
Oh, yeah. So,
They expect a lot.
Chet is already the second best defender on the planet. Jalen Williams would be the best prospect or best player. I think it was best player.
Best player on Rockets, Magic.
I think it was 20 teams that they got. 20 teams. So, obviously we're joking. Like, there are 2 very talented players that helped them get the 1 seed. Like, they are.
Yeah.
And which they will probably get again.
Probably. Yeah, I was battling with that, but they probably do. I still think Memphis is a team that comes out because of another player we'll get to later. Yeah, but I think I look at. Dang. The aura was too much. And y'all see what happened, bro?
That's not the first time Jalen's let me down.
Oh, that's messed up. When you see the aura was just too much, like the walk and handle it, it's just different, man.
Anyways, keep going. Right, bro. Jalen and Chet.
But yeah, like they're gonna be again, like Chet's gonna be a guy that's gonna be in the running for DPOY. Jalen Williams is gonna be somebody that is gonna be in that running for MIP. I think that he'll be a name you hear a lot towards as the season comes.
I think his counter stats will be good enough though for that.
I mean, if it's like, I think that might be the reason he doesn't win because it's not. I don't think he'll go from like.
I think he'll be like marginally.
Yeah, because he was 19.
Chet
20? No, Jalen.
I think it was like
Jalen was like
5 and 4.
Yeah, like, he'll
was
probably,
almost 25.
Yeah, he'll probably jump like 21, 22, 5 and 5.
You don't think he gets to 25?
I mean,
not with Shea.
I've been seeing all these stats, people saying, "Oh, Jalen Williams out Giddy, Jalen Williams out Giddy." Like,
but the thing with that is they're gonna run like 10 or 11 deep in the regular season, and so they're like not gonna Shea's gonna get his count numbers because he's Shea, right? Mm-hmm. But everyone else is like it's gonna be like a trickle down. Like they have Caruso, obviously, like Lou Dort, Aaron Williams off the bench, Isaiah Joe off the bench, like. He'll probably.
That's such a good team, bro.
It is. It's really
such a good team.
It's a good regular season team. It's a good regular season team for now. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, so fair enough. Expectations for Jalen Williams, slight increase and everything. Yeah. Chet, you think he makes a run for Depoy?
He should be obviously all signs point to just Wemby running away with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Wemby's gonna run away. But I mean, if he's like a top 3 finish,
yeah, he should be in
he's
that.
He's gonna be the best defender on probably. The best, if not the best defense, a top 3 defense. So
I'll say
I think it might be the best.
To give like a concrete, I think he should have a similar defensive year that Evan Mobley had when he was top 3 in DPOY. I think their impact should be similar in that regard. On the flip side, though, I think he's going to be a tad bit better offensively as well. His frame, obviously, he's not going to be able to put on a ton of weight, but he'll get stronger. He'll add more core strength. Hopefully the load up on his shot is fixed a little bit because that was one thing that was really hindering him, especially in the playoffs, is just how long it takes him to load his shot up at that size. So,
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's a confidence thing though. Like I think once, bro, you're like 7'3". Like, just pull
Yeah,
it. Even if
just-
it's dude's in your face, he's not really in your face.
I don't know. I feel like that's a mechanic thing. Like,
Yeah, because he's a real like dip. Like he's a dip. Bring it up. Versus
He has to release it higher. His release point's kind of low.
yeah.
which that's like one of the things that kind of hurt him against Dallas because they were just kind of closing out and playing under him with smaller guys.
Yeah.
So when you're taking that long time to load up your jumper, it's kind of, and that's why his 3-point shooting was like down in the playoffs. But in a regular season context, like it'll be fine. I think similar to Jalen Williams, he'll take like a slight increase in everything. He'll probably be a bit more efficient. And the increase will just come with like more wins. Like they'll probably be a 60+ win team.
I think both of them could average 20+ next year.
Oh, they will.
Yeah, they probably
will.
because Chet was at
They
what,
have
like,
3 20-point.
Chet was at
17, so
I think
like,
Jalen
yeah,
was at
like
19. Like, I think they both.
I think they'll all probably shoot. Jalen Williams probably doesn't shoot better. I think he just ends up having more volume.
He was already like
because he was already
90,
he was
right?
already
Like,
super
damn
efficient.
near.
He was just on like his. I think his efficiency will probably dip a bit because he's taking more volume. I think that'd probably be the case for him. But the counting stats will go up. Chet will probably take like a tad. Like he'll probably get to 29 and something. Like I don't. With Hartenstein there, Hartenstein's probably going to steal a couple rebounds from him. But
also, OKC's low-key not that good of a rebounding team in general.
That's why they picked up Hartenstein. That's why they paid them.
Well, also, I think it's kind of a consequence of 5-out spacing. Like if your big's not in the paint to get defensive boards, offensive boards, like that's just kind of how it goes.
I mean, the way they play, that's the thing with Chet, and it's why he's such a special defensive prospect. When you get those like unicorn bigs, it's drop coverage is the best, not the best, but it's the most common coverage we see in basketball because it forces you to take a pull-up. Against the best players we know, you really don't want to let them walk into pull-ups, but Chet's capable enough to show and recover, play in space a bit. It's not exactly like what you want him to do, but if you need him to do it, Chet can do it. That's the reason why he's so, it's right, like him, Evan Mobley, Wemby, like these 7-foot, like the unicorns that come out, Porzingis pre-knee injury. Like, that's why you get these guys, and it's like, that's why they're so valuable. It's not just the drop coverage. It's not just the rim protection. You know, it's hard to shoot over a 7-footer. Like, if that dude's showing, it's like, you're just stabbing at it, right? Like, I'm showing, stab. But I'm not stabbing with a 6'6" wingspan. I'm stabbing with a 7'5", 7'7". And some dude, in Wemby's case, 8'1". Like, it's a little different. So, but overall, I think their jumps need to come in the playoffs. I think that's where their expectations need to be. It can't be a like regular season. That's cool. Like Jalen Williams can't have a Dallas series again.
I agree.
Like he can't have that.
And if you're the 1 seed, I think it's like you were the 1 seed last year.
He was bad. I forgot.
Yeah,
Williams?
he was.
Jalen Williams?
Yeah,
he was bad against Dallas.
He was bad
against Dallas.
He was solid against. If I remember correctly, I gotta go back and watch.
He was
cool against the Pelicans if I remember correctly.
Shea was low key.
He like started off really bad against Dallas and then
Najee Marshall,
turned up.
the Shea stopper. Dallas picked him up. Actually, that's a really good pickup.
And then Chet was fine. He just shot poorly from 3.
Yeah.
But like that's where the improvement. Like you got to be able to. That shooting has to be able to translate because you are, like you said, they're gonna. There's a scouting report on you. Like that's one thing that all 3 of these dudes have discovered in their basketball life, and like everyone that we're gonna end up naming has discovered. Like when there's a scouting report on you, it's different, especially in the playoffs when. For the whole week, I don't got to worry about who I play on Tuesday, who I play on Wednesday. I'm playing the same team Tuesday, Thursday.
Yep, for
we don't do back-to-backs.
I mean, they got a game plan.
Exactly. I got the game plan. I know the thing.
Though.
Yeah. It shows how talented you are that I got to put you on the game plan. You're number 2, number 3 on the board. Like, I got to show, like, all right, cool. He doesn't like doing this, though. All right, now next year, they know you don't like doing this. Are you going to adjust to that? Or are you going to start liking it? Or are you going to find something else to where they can't force you to that? So seeing how they adjust to that, I think will be, for OKC overall. Like, if they want to win... OKC fans, I'm talking to y'all directly now because I don't like y'all either. I don't like y'all, bro. Stop coming in my mentions. Stop coming in my spaces. Stop coming in my like. Y'all expectations need to be title or bust. I don't care what you say. I don't care what any of these other accounts say. You have a MVP candidate, a top 5 player in basketball. You have a DPOY candidate. You've got a guy in Jalen Williams who we all expect to end up being about, if y'all already think he's top 30, but most people expect him to be in that borderline all-star, could have made an all-star team in a different conference type of range. You just added the best perimeter defender in basketball. You already had one in Lou Dort. You just added the one thing you were missing in a rebounder in Isaiah Hartenstein. Y'all better be great. And y'all better win. Because, boy, if y'all don't win, I don't care what the Rockets do. I really don't. I don't care what the Rockets do. Well, I will be on this podcast waving a flag, jumping up and down on this set, crying tears of joy at your misery. I promise you I will. Because y'all talk crazy. Y'all
They
talk
do talk a little crazy.
bro.
We do
little.
too. We do too. So I can't say too.
No,
much.
it's not
I can't
that
say
bad,
too much.
bro.
It is. Shout out Bias Houston on
Yeah,
Twitter.
shout out Will, man.
But real quick, we got like 15 minutes left for
Yeah.
start wrapping this up. We want to do a quick little rapid fire kind of section. Shout out some players that not putting them on the agenda board, but is guys you think are gonna have really good seasons.
Might
that-
fly under the radar a
Yeah,
little bit.
like little less known guys. So shout out.
Shout out to Taylor Hendricks of the Utah Jazz. He was a guy I was super high on pre-draft. Really, really good switchable defender. I don't know the direction Utah's going to take. I'm assuming they're going to tank more a bit this year. They got the Laurie situation figured out of what their long-term plan is, so he should play more.
Again? It is, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, their
It
picks
is.
protected.
Oh,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
they're going to be in that season, like back half of the
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
All right, we're gonna start sitting to lose some games. So I think he'll play more. I was really high on him pre-draft at a UCF. Love his game, and I think Utah's got a couple of those dudes. Him, Bryce Sensabaugh.
Yeah.
Shout out Fat D Book. Like they got some guys how to look at. I'm like, man, like this team's got a chance to maybe make some noise in the upcoming years. Maybe not this year, but
Yeah, they're like one like top draft pick away from
yeah,
really being
they're-
like,
they're-
these top course.
Yeah.
they're one dude at a Duke away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, one or two dudes, because ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that other one kind of ain't gotta talk about that,
Bro,
bro.
come on, we'll
All right.
we'll revisit this.
All right, yeah, we'll revisit it. My guy, Nikola Jovic, shout out. Heat culture, Heat magic. Questions about him coming out of college was the shooting, the overall defense. I feel like he's improved pretty significantly about those things.
Yeah.
Shot almost 40% from three last year. Only averaged like 9 points, but I think it's more opportunity than like a lack of necessarily. Like I think he can scale up. That's where I'm going with this. Like I think as Jimmy Butler ages, you're gonna want someone that can take some more of those reps. He can be that like point forward kind of dude. Like I'm pretty high on Nikola Jovic this year. I think he's gonna have a
That Heat
sneaky
Devil
good
Magic
season.
crazy, man.
Man,
So
the
real
deal
crazy.
the deal Pat Riley made. I don't know what he did. Bro. I don't know what he did.
But
He
they
can't-
find way every year.
like how you finesse him? Like that's crazy, bro. Like I ain't never seen that one. You won the deal. All right, man.
Go ahead. Who's your breakout guy?
Well, for Duke legend, Mark Williams.
Legend.
Legend.
Watch out,
Legend is-
Legend
Legend
is
is
kind of
crazy.
crazy.
Bro, I can't come on.
All right.
Anyway.
All right.
Yeah, Mark Williams. He's a very, very talented young big. I think that he does do a lot of big man things well, which I think is a lost art. We was on the pod earlier talking about Sar and how he want to be heavy tween guy.
No one said screens no
And-
more, man.
Yeah, Mark Williams is one of those guys who does, and on top of that, he rebounds well. He also rim protects, right? And I'm a little concerned with some of the injury stuff. But you look at like all his advanced numbers, like his on-off stuff, all of that. And mind you, he's on the Hornets, right? Which is a bad defense.
Yeah.
Their numbers like skyrocket defensively when he's on the court. And that's not a coincidence, right? With a team that's that like inept defensively as a whole, him being that good and skyrocketing their numbers like that, like it shows that's a really good basketball player.
Yeah.
I will say when he's healthy, he is like the ideal pick and roll partner for a guy like 7'1".
He has like a 7'8"
Yeah.
wingspan.
7'8" wingspan,
Super
and for his size, freak athlete.
Yeah.
Like
He's very fluid.
legit
Super
vertical
fluid.
spacer. Like that's a guy that offensively and defensively just fits anywhere. Like,
That's
you can
actually
throw
the
him in
Clint
his
Capella
team.
comp you were trying to give to Jaylen
But
Green.
bigger.
More talented.
But bigger and more
it's a
talented.
bigger Clint Capella.
Yeah, like I think he's like in the age where like you kind of are asking centers to do more like rolling bigs, like rim runners.
Mhm.
That's the one you
Yeah, that's
want.
like what you want. Yeah. That's
All right,
what you want.
we're going to swing back around this way. I have to say something about a Rockets player.
Please do.
Tari Eason only played 20-some games last year, right? Really good rookie year. You want to talk about a dude that shined in a terrible environment.
Man.
Tari Eason, man. Advanced analytics, ridiculous
Yeah,
when he was on the
BPM,
court.
EPM demon,
BPM,
man.
EPM demon, like super
On
good.
off demon too.
Yeah, got hurt last year.
Complex interviews,
Hey.
so aura.
I'm saying got hurt last year, right? But now he's back, pretty healthy. Been working on the practice facility, looks good. Like on the court,
Yeah.
looks good on the court. I think
I just caught it too. That's the crazy part. I just caught it.
yeah. This is my thing, Tar Eason, right? Arguably per minute, I think he can be the Rockets' Jonathan Isaac this year. That's
I
my
mean,
hot
already
take.
has
Not just
kinda
right.
been.
He kind of is already.
That's
Like,
like what
you
he
go,
is.
you go based off those numbers. Like everything Jonathan Isaac is, you go per minute. Tyrese and
Yeah,
not that.
he's
far
right there in
behind.
that convo. He don't have the volume for it yet
Yeah.
because he got hurt. I think under Ime Udoka in this new defensive culture environment that the Rockets have cultivated, I think Tari Eason is going to be a sneaky all defensive team kind of guy. I think he can make one this year.
Yeah.
He should, like, he is, and we've talked about this before. Like, he is such a special defender, and like the way he plays defense. A lot of guys are just like solid defenders. They're very fundamentally sound defenders. He can be that, but the beauty of Tari Easton's defense is the event creation.
He's a
It's
playmaker.
you like have zero
Defensive
clue.
playmaker.
A true
Definitely.
defensive playmaker. You have zero clue what's gonna happen with Tari Easton on the floor, and it's the best thing ever. Like he's gonna strip steal somebody. He's gonna meet somebody at the rim. Then we're in fast break, and he's cradling something.
Yeah.
Might throw it behind him.
Crazy boards.
Like, oh my
Crazy
goodness.
boards.
He might miss that first layup. He might miss the second, third. But you know who's coming down with it every single time. I promise you know who's coming down. Like, his motor, ridiculous, man. It's
incredible.
Shout out Tari Eason, man. Shout out. Glad you on the team.
Wasn't he like 99th percentile
And
in
every
like,
rebound
deflection
stat,
rate?
bro.
Every
rebound.
rebound.
Well, yeah, rebound stats. He was like
insane,
up
yeah.
there. He was like
Ridiculous.
90 plus percentile in like everything.
I think defensively too. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's just
Yeah.
an elite
it
defender.
checks
bro.
out.
Man,
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying. All right.
Physical profile.
Speaking
too.
of, I ain't like, it's a shame that there's like only 2 all defensive teams because it's
You think it should be 3?
yeah. I mean, I
That's
see
a
no
good take.
reason why
That's a
there's
good
not
take.
3.
That's a good take.
Yeah,
There's 3
all
all NBA
NBA,
teams.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
why
why?
not?
Would you make 3 all rookies though?
No.
No, that's not enough rookies.
Yeah.
It's not 15 good players.
It's
Yeah,
not-
it's really not.
It's
good
not
rookies.
enough
Yeah,
rookies.
it's really not.
You gonna have like
Speaking of good defensive players though, and guys that he on the Wizards. He ain't making no defensive team. A dude that coming into his draft, I wasn't like super duper high on because I honestly like I watched the Wemby games, but wasn't really checking for this guy like that. But Bilal Coulibaly, man, like he showed me a lot in that putrid season that the Wizards had, where I'm like, man, this is some of the stuff he does. He has a play against the Kings. If anyone's there, it's on my Twitter. You can go find it. I've never seen somebody like standing, just off standing vert, pin somebody. I think it was Harrison Barnes went up for a layup and he just zoom, meets him. I'm like,
Yes.
bro, like this isn't like he is for his size. I think that if he really grew to 6'8", which everybody's 6'8",
Yeah,
I know everyone's
like,
6'8"
I think
nonsense,
everybody's
bro.
6'8".
he might because he looked bigger on
He
the
looked
court.
like he
So
actually is.
if he's like at 6'8", that type of mobility, fluidity, like that is a special
He got, like,
special
what, a 7'2"
defender.
wingspan?
7'2", yeah, like he's a special player. And
Yeah, I mean his measurables are ridiculous.
oh my god, yeah, it was
that's a
legit
crazy
insane.
physical
And just
player.
seeing what he was able to do in that bad Wizard situation, like on a team full of bad defenders, and you know that you're gonna have to be the guy at 18 years old, guard the best player every other night. He took it like a champ. Like he really like it was. All right, cool. I got to guard Book tonight. I got to guard Shea tomorrow. But like, cool. I ain't got no help, but cool. Fine with me, man.
Yeah, I mean shout out players thriving in bad situations.
he really tried. That was a good one. I expect he did. That was a good one.
All right. You got another guy?
Well, yeah, we'll circle back to another Jaylen. One of the guys I wanted to point out was Suggs. We talked about Franz and Paolo earlier. I feel like another player who took like a really sizable leap last year was Suggs. Like obviously he went from being a mid-20s, low-30 guy to he shot 40% on 4 attempts last year.
Pretty
From three,
incredible.
right?
Yeah.
He also made an all-defensive team last year.
Second team all defense.
We were talking about that. Speaking of, like, quick sidebar. There's a lot of really, really like generationally talented defenders that have been coming in.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
because they're just
especially like
freaking
guards and
athletes, man.
wings.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I think he's someone who kind of goes under the radar when it comes to like what the Magic are doing. I fear when that contract hit though, it's not gonna be under
I
the
was just
radar.
about to mention.
What's he
I'm
getting,
super
38?
interested.
He getting 40.
He
getting
yes,
40?
I think he's getting 4 for
This
160.
is my thing. But you're calling him as a.
I think he's getting
You
that.
said 4/160?
Yeah,
That's 40 a year.
That's not
That's
crazy.
40.
That's not
That's 40 a
crazy.
year.
That's not crazy, bro. Drew Holiday makes like 37.
Yeah, he just
I mean,
made
Drew,
like
Drew Holiday
4
was
for
aging
140?
though, so like,
But that's my point. He's aging and he's still got like
Yeah.
30.
Yeah, Suggs is like 22. He just made an
Yeah.
all
He's
defensive
22,
team.
made an all defense. He just shot 40%
Man,
from three.
they just paid
But hold on.
Franz.
But that's kind of my point. He's 22. He made an all defensive team, shot 40% from three. What does a breakout look like for Jalen Suggs?
I mean, for Suggs, I think that's more of like the auxiliary skills, like the connective passing, the pick and roll ball handling. I think those things can still improve. Obviously, the pull up shooting can improve, and the Magic desperately need pull up 3-point shooting. I think similar to like when we're talking about like Jalen Williams and Chet, he's one of those guys where it's also like your counter stats probably aren't gonna be that much better. It's just how you look aesthetically as a player and how you round out your game. Yeah, we're not talking about aura, bro. That's like I think that's where you're gonna see the difference in him. Like the little stuff, right? Like, are you running pick and rolls more effective? Are you, lowering the turnovers a little bit? Are you shooting the pull up a little bit better? Like stuff like that, right? I think that's kind of where he's at in his game. I don't think he's gonna do too much like exponential growth at this point. I think it's gonna be like marginal improvements, but I mean that's what they need. So
yeah, I mean that's valid.
Definitely.
Real quick aside, I know you want to talk about Trey Murphy.
Oh yeah, shout out. That's another guy that's going to get paid.
Yes.
He is going to get paid. Trey Murphy is like one of the most unique skill sets in basketball. Like he is a legit fourth level
probably the
scorer.
most coveted.
Like he's a dude that like
the 30-foot spacer.
Yeah, like if we play 2K. Like if you play 2K, y'all probably got into games where like you got one dude sitting hash. Like that's low key Trey Murphy. Like he is sitting there like 29, 30 feet threes. He can still get to the basket. I think he's a underrated self-creator. It's not something he got to do a lot. He probably won't be able to do this much this year with them adding DeJounte. I think his breakout comes on the defensive end. He's got all the tools. He's got the athleticism. If he's consistently as good as he can be defensively, that's a dude that you start asking questions around like, do we need to let him scale up? Like, does somebody have to go?
I mean, I think
for us to let him start to get more.
That's why, like, and we said that in the earlier pod too. When they got DeJounte, I was like really questionable about it because I was like, I'm looking at this team and like you're looking at the best lineups like Trey Murphy, Herb Jones on right, and when you bring in a guy like DeJounte Murray, you're kind of making the lineup combinations a lot, especially because they're not, at least up until this point, it's looking like they're not going to bench CJ McCollum either, right? So two of your probably four best players in Murphy and Herb Jones are.
Dog, is Trey Murphy playing center for the Pelicans?
Is anyone playing center for the Pelicans?
That's all I'm dead. Like the Lakers just signed Christian Kolokolo. They should have, and he would have started for him. Like they.
Yeah, shout out Yves Missy. I watched Summer League.
Yeah. Shout out Yves, man. Shout out him and Baylor.
He could eventually be a starting center.
Yeah, he's not ready right now.
But eventually is not in October.
And they're not in a.
Yeah, they're not.
Let us develop. Like no, like you just traded for DeJounte Murray. You got to make a Brandon Ingram decision. Like they got a lot to do.
Yeah, they got that.
I said this. I know this isn't the part of this, but I'm going to drop this in for a tidbit for later day. Pelicans trading Brandon Ingram for DeAndre Ayton. I think that's a swap that low key makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense for both sides.
Does that help Portland much?
Makes sense.
Yeah,
definitely.
They need a wing.
They need a wing that's actually good.
Respect Jeremy Grant.
They need a wing that's actually good. Like,
bro,
they need a wing that's like actually good, bro.
Nah, like okay.
I mean, Jeremy Grant is like a really, really talented shot maker, but he's not.
Bro, I feel
Jeremy Grant just has like a.
I look at that Portland team, right? And what was your backcourt? It's like Scoot, Shaden.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
like Scoot, Shaden.
Simons.
Right? Simons. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Simons probably out the door, right? But I feel like you don't need more mid-range scorers.
I think
you need 3 points.
I think they just need scoring. Like at this point, like they need something. Like it's I noticed we haven't sent any breakout candidates for the Portland Trailblazers. Like we really haven't.
We've not.
You look at a lot of like Shaden Sharp was a guy that was super touted as a high school prospect. He shot up to number 1 on the boards. You kind of look at his NBA career and it's like, dang, he's super physically talented. You see some of the stuff with the deceleration skills, his strength creation, but it's like, man, it's something missing. Like what is it? But again, he's super young. He's going to enter year 3.
And
year 3 could be the year he takes the leap. But you look at somebody like even Scoot, man, like I'm going to take a victory lap on this one.
Scoot?
Yes.
Victory lap? It's been 1 year?
No, I'm because this is why I'm going to take a victory lap. Let me explain this. Everybody pre-draft was saying Scoot was the most NBA-ready prospect in the draft.
Yeah.
They were saying because he went to Ignite for 2 years, because of his pace and pick and rolls, because of his playmaking ability. And I looked everybody dead in their eyes and said, you didn't watch the games. Because they were the worst offense in the G League with him on the court. You take him off the court and leave Leonard Miller on, they're middle of the pack. And that was, Ignite is designed for them to be bad. Because they want to teach these kids what it's like.
Was designed for them.
Was designed. RIP to Ignite.
Yeah, RIP
to Ignite.
Yeah.
But it was designed for them to be bad and lose a lot of games so they could play a lot and develop. And you look at him, he couldn't shoot from outside 10 feet. He really couldn't shoot from inside 10 feet. Was a horrific assist turnover, which carried over to this season. And folks was looking at me and saying, take him to. Man, if the Rockets don't get Scoot Henderson, this is a failure. That's what I was hearing from everybody, man. It's like, dude, no, this is a guy that's going to take, like, Scoot Henderson's going to be very good. He has too many elite traits. The athleticism, great. I think being able to play at that pace and having that type of passing vision this early on in your career is great. And again, development isn't linear.
Yeah,
So
and he had the GQ photo shoot and stuff like that.
You know what I mean? I ain't lie. His draft suit was kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie, the draft suit. Y'all remember he had like the different gems of his family? He was low-key about to be Team Aura, then he put 00 on. And that's
and the goggles?
The goggles too, bro. No, do you remember the rookie? The red long sleeve. It wasn't even black. It was red. What is wrong with you? Like, that's where it's like, bruh. And that's why I be telling folks, you can't gain. You can lose Aura. You can't gain Aura, though, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Like, you can't recover Aura.
Get it back?
He can get it back.
I don't know, bro.
He just got to change his number and fix his eyesight. Like, he'll be fine.
Fix his eyesight.
Get contacts, bro.
Gotta give him LASIK? Like, the Jameis Winston?
Is he even old enough to do LASIK, bro?
I think he's 21. I think so.
You had to be 25.
Oh, you be 25? Really?
Be 25.
I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Not the podcast, but I didn't even know that.
All right. I mean, on that note, I feel like unless there's another breakout candidate y'all want to talk about, I think I might as well wrap this thing up.
Man, real quick, another Duke legend. You know what I mean? Because I would be calling all these players Duke legends. Jaylen Johnson. I don't think he's necessarily a breakout candidate.
I feel like he had his breakout last year.
He kind of already did.
Yeah.
I will say, I think he can take like another
definitely
statistical leap like this year.
He'll get more usage. That's the big thing.
Next to Versace?
He'll get more usage.
He's the second best player on that team. Like, he'll get more usage. Yeah,
he's definitely the second.
I'm just saying. I mean, number one overall pick. You don't think they're going?
I mean, but Trae Young went on PG podcast and said, like, bro, probably a role player. Like, I think his role was kind of carved out, bro. Like,
spot up.
Yeah, it's like
I think you've seen like a real increase in like some of the on ball stuff with him. I think his shooting also got a lot better. I think this year I'm gonna be interested to see if he does continue to round out his game because he's really physically talented. He's also very young, and so him taking the leap that he did last year, like that might not be just it. Like there's a chance. Like we're talking about other guys where like Suggs and these other guys where it's like, yeah, you might be kind of like where you're gonna be for the most part, and you're just gonna like thin out and be like somewhat better. He might have another leap in him, and for a team like the Hawks who need that, it's very possible. Yeah. You know, that leap is like what takes them from being this bottom play-in team to like, oh no, this is actually a playoff team. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see.
That's fair.
Well, if I could throw this one in, it's not an NBA player. It's not an NBA player. It's not someone that's in the NBA yet. Somebody that will be a Rutgers legend. I'm calling my shot. Calling my shot here.
So I can't say Duke legend.
Next time we pull up here, he'll probably be on the agenda board. Arius Ace Bailey. He went to, oh my goodness, he was with AOT in the summer. He went to McEachern High School in Georgia. He's going to be at Rutgers this year. I think for a lot of the draft nerds, a lot of people like follow the draft closely. You pay attention to like 24/7, McDonald's on America's Games. You know who Ace Bailey is. I think by this time next year, he'll be a household name. I truly believe that. Some of the stuff he does on the basketball court,
I believe that.
You look and you're like, oh my God.
Ace Bailey good.
Yeah, he is. I don't even think it's just about him being good. He's going to have so many wow moments.
Yeah, I feel like
he's going to be.
He's the type of dude that you make that mixtape for.
Yeah,
about halfway through the college season,
like 100%.
Like
he gonna be on like Frankie Vision gonna have a hell of a run with Ace Bailey. He gonna be churning out content. But I think aside from just the flash, seeing how he progressed throughout his high school career, seeing him, I gotta cover him and interview him. I'm dropping that tidbit. I gotta interview him at the Tip Off Classic in Georgia. And great kid, was raised the right way. You can genuinely tell loves the game of basketball. Like really loves the game of basketball. He came to AOT for the Tip Off Classic, got on a plane, and went and did the Under Armour 24. I was either Under Armour 24 or the Slam Summer Classic. Like back to this is just a kid that like he just wants to hoop. And seeing him in person, being able to like I was in Atlanta at the time, got to see him in the state championship game, seeing the ups and downs he had to go through, how he developed through it. I'm super high on Ace Bailey. And I think by this time next year, by this next episode it'll be on the agenda board, but I think he'll lead Rutgers to one of their better seasons ever. And I think your man is like the clear number one. But if anybody's got a chance,
shout out Cooper Flag.
If anybody's got a chance of like, you know what I mean, swiping at the ankles, Ace Bailey's the one.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because every team is like, especially every team at the bottom specifically, like you're looking for that guy who can engine your team, engine your offense, and that's what Ace Bailey is. Like you look at him and you see like, yeah, one day this guy can be like a 25, 27 point per game scorer. Like, that's not outside the realm of possibility. So for a team that is going to be at the bottom right, if you're bad enough to pick one or two, that might be a real like if Brooklyn's there, right? That might be a real conversation. Like, they kind of need a guy to build to anchor their team around, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're getting Jimmy Butler, so
That's a crazy take.
Who not getting Jimmy Butler?
I think they're the betting favorites, right? I thought
they are, but
like betting favorites.
I don't think they'd do that. They're tanking. They're tanking.
Him and Ben Simmons got the same agent though, guys. So that was the report. That was the report.
Bro, the odds this type of season are just what team has cap space. Okay,
yeah,
short,
it's
1 through
legit.
2. But
we were third, right, on the odds.
We were third on there. I don't think the Rockets.
Lord, I rebuke, please.
Please don't. 35-year-old Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Do not let that happen, Stone.
Listen,
please.
Ace Bailey, all the skills to succeed, all the talent, doesn't always translate, but.
That's crazy. Like, he ain't even had to do that. That's crazy, bro. He side-eyed it too. Like,
I'm not talking about anybody. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't always translate.
You see this? Y'all remember this, bro? Y'all scroll.
Pistons aside here, guys.
Pistons aside, bro. Nick, Nick, you have a co-host, Nick. You got a co-host, man.
Hey, so that's been the Right Read podcast. You can find me at JustStalking2001 on Twitter. Episodes gonna be posted YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Every place you listen to podcasts. Isaiah.
You can find me Jesus Supremacy on Twitter. DeAndre.
Once again, you can find me at Willems on Twitter. That's 3 L's, WILLLUMZ, Willems on Twitter, and on YouTube at DeAndre Does Hoops. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. Leave down in the comments any topics you guys want to see us talk about in the future. Give us your feedback, or who do you think we're right, we're wrong? How are you liking our agenda board so far? What team are you? A true shooting enthusiast? Do you not believe development is linear?
Yeah,
or
adhesive suggestions.
You know what I mean? Or you,
up,
like real talk, like actually serious. Before we really get the outro out, like if you have any suggestions for what is the best way for us to put these boards up, because as you see, y'all can't notice this. Like we're revealing backstage secrets. That's my hair tie that's holding that one up. My hair tie is holding that one up. We had to use 6 of the command strips for that one. We thought that was the one we were banking on.
That was rock solid.
We were like, yo, that's the good one. And it fell in the middle of it. So any suggestions y'all have for that would also be great. But again, y'all, we dropped our ads. Everyone's links will also be in the description. Links to Spotify and Apple Podcasts will be in the description as well. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. And this has been the Right Read Podcast.
Yeah, from film sessions in my room, the swapping starters out for bench platoons. No, I grew the game the way it grew me, as the exception to the rule, cause I make it hot. A generational talent to some, maybe not. So as I plot on the things that I yearn, seeking the down screen for the win, double